Good evening, everyone. Or good evening if you're on the East Coast, where I am. Welcome to the Dr. Phil weekly show, I guess we'll call that. It's the Dr. Phil show. Pick up your feet and take off your shoes. Dr. Phil is here for the views. All right, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Once again, the interview is not happening this week. If anybody is interested in doing interviews, please let me know. I'm sure we will find someone to be the first victim. If not, I will have to do it. And I think it's what it's going to have to be. I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and be the first one. Also, doctor disclaimer, I am not really a doctor. If you think you need a real doctor, please go get one. If you don't feel well, you have any serious questions, any serious health issues, please go see a doctor. All right. So let's get started a little bit on tonight before we get too far in. Turn down the volume a little bit on this. Amber Lynn's grocery haul, her recent grocery haul. Let's see what she's got coming in. And this person here, Goral Tube, very kind of them. They put in a
we have a grocery haul. First things first,
listing of the actual calories per item.
I've never had one before from my remembrance, so I'm excited to give it a go. I got some fish sticks. You guys will be surprised. But the ingredients for this is literally just pollock, which is like a white fish, and then breadcrumb coating. That's all that's in here. You'd think that fish sticks was like a bunch of creepy stuff, but no, it's just white fish and breadcrumbs. So me and Feline love this. Feline makes tartar sauce, which is actually really easy to make, which is shocking. So yeah, delish. So I used to eat these all the time and I haven't had them in forever. It's mixed crackers, the original party mix. I don't know what any of these are called. The times that I have had them, I did get them from like an Asian market, so yeah, it's actually really good though. And then I also got some wasabi peas, which I love having these. Got some chocolate milk and some regular milk. Got some garbage disposable
Sorry for muting myself again like a fool. I am just messing everything up here. Yeah, thank you, Blondie. I am just... All right, let's just start over. Let's pretend this first 3 minutes did not happen. Let's just pretend that we are back to the beginning. Welcome, Strike 79. Welcome, Blondie. Thank you for coming. Thank you for putting up with this nonsense. I'm about to make fun of somebody else. I need to make fun of myself first, so everybody crack on me. I actually know about audio production. That's right. After I totally messed this up. I don't know about video production, though. It's not my strength. Anybody does, feel free to help. Anyway, we're going to be... I want to give credit where it's due. First of all, thank you, Blondie, for helping produce the show. Because I've needed it today. I've been messing up, muting myself, not sharing the screen. So, all right, once again, welcome, everybody. Welcome, lurkers. Welcome, chatters. Welcome, Strike 79. Welcome, Blondie. Thank you for coming. We're going to be watching this wonderful video from a really cool channel here called, I want to say it's called Earthed Content. No, it's called Goral Tube. Goral Tube here. And I'll actually post the link to the video. So if anybody wants to see the original. Want to give credit where it's due. This video here is great because they put down the actual calorie counts for the foods. So we could really see here where Amber's done well and where she hasn't. Things like this drain cleaner, I would say that's probably about 150 calories per serving. for this dishwasher disposal cleaner. Don't give your dishwasher, excuse me, your garbage disposal in your sink. Don't give it too many of these or it will get fat. Okay, just joking, by the way, everybody. We're okay. There's some stuff in here that's not actually food. We're just kind of having a little fun with it.
Disposal cleaner just to put in the sink, because sometimes the sink, you know.
That stuff's really good, by the way. And what you could use if you don't want to use harsh chemicals, if you get like some tangerine peels, you can use orange peels as well, as long as they're not too thick. Use tangerine peels and some rock salt, and that will absolutely clean out the gunk in your incinerator. This stuff works great too, but in fact, this one even says citrus right on there. So that's probably what it is. It's probably just orange peel oil, whatever they call that stuff. That is the best cleaner for this kind of thing.
It doesn't smell
all
that
natural.
Great. So we got some of this to make it smell good. Got 2 things of sushi rice, which is like sticky rice, because we want to make our own like wannabe sushi bowls. Not sushi bowls. What are they called? Like
I got to put my face on the side so we can see this here. So sushi rice, 160 calories. Let me stop for a second. Rewind that actually. Let me actually go back to a few of these because we missed a lot of this food in the beginning while I was talking.
First things first, we got
all right, a rice cooker. I like that. I don't like buying it at the grocery store, but a rice cooker is a great piece of equipment. Anybody who has one, or anybody who's cooked rice without one, unless you're very experienced or very lucky, your rice is usually crunchy, or it's burned, or it's mushy. It's never right, or it's not consistently good. Let's say it like that. If you're a very experienced cook, maybe it's not an issue. But for the average person, getting rice to be consistently cooked properly is not easy, especially if you're in a hurry. So getting a rice cooker is a great investment, especially if you like rice, obviously. You could use it as a steamer as well. I got to pause for a second. My nose is just a little bit clogged. 1 second here, folks. All right, hopefully that sounds just a little bit better. But yeah, Blondie says she's jelly of her rice cooker. I'm peanut butter of her rice cooker. I'm rice cooker of her jelly. Strike 79 says she loves hers. I don't have one in particular that I can recommend. I actually don't have one at the moment. I really should get one. I used to have one. I don't remember what the brand was. It was a while ago. The only issue is if you're not careful with it, it's easy to, it can tend to burn a little bit, but, you know, and also it can get a little bit sticky if you use rice wine vinegar. That's why I like to make it. I like to use the sushi rice with a few tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, a little bit of extra salt. Really, really good. That's how I like to do it. And a drop of sesame oil. If you really want to get the authentic sushi style taste. I mean, it's not the real authentic, but as close as you're going to get at home for a Westerner. Some rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sesame oil, a little bit of just a touch of salt. Actually, you don't even have to put the salt because you'll put soy sauce on it later. So you don't even need any salt. So just put on a touch of sesame oil and some rice wine vinegar to taste. You will get such and use the correct sticky rice. You will get such a good sushi tasting rice. You will get that flavor that they get at the restaurant. And they add even more rice wine vinegar to get that real sushi taste. Yeah, Strike's here with a great point. If you're cooking single or just cooking for one, get a small one like that. It's absolutely brilliant to get a small one like that because I cook for myself most of the time, or just maybe for one other person, usually not a big eater. So a lot of times I have to cook smaller portions, and anybody who does that will tell you that it can actually be more difficult because a lot of pots and pans are really designed to cook 4 servings of food on average, because that's the serving size most people commonly make. Usually they make enough for 3 people, 4 people, or then they make a little left over. Okay, so let's keep going here. But yeah, love that rice cooker.
So I'm excited to give it a go. I got some fish sticks.
Okay, fish sticks. Got to put a criticism on here. Only 210 calories per serving. They probably have a good amount of protein. But what's the criticism? I've looked at these fish sticks, and I want to say they are loaded with soybean oil. Maybe it's palm oil. I don't remember which of the two, but they're basically interchangeable. But that's what she doesn't even mention when she reads the ingredients. She's clearly neglected them. In fact, you know what? I've got a second here. Let me pull them up. Those are Gorton's fish sticks. Let's see what kind. Gorton fish sticks. Let's look at the ingredients. I love how the second thing is good for you. Yep, soybean oil right on there. Canola and or soybean oil. I love how they say it like that. Crunchy breaded fish sticks. Let's see it. I'm assuming these are the same ones. 100% whole fillets. These look like they're better quality than the ones she got, the value pack. These actually look to be a little bit better quality, but we'll assume they're the same ones. Oh, and of course, it doesn't clearly show the ingredients here. All right, let's go to a different page. Sorry, folks, for taking so long. Here we go. Details. In fact, I'll share this screen. Stop and Shop Gorton's fish sticks, 44 count. 210 calories, that part's correct, for 6 fish sticks. 10 grams of protein, not bad. 10 grams of fat, not bad. 20 grams of carbs, not good. 10 grams of fat's not great either, to be fair. So, you know, it's a little bit low on protein by ratio, but it's not too bad. Sodium's pretty high, 330. But what's the big problem with it? The ingredients. Minced pollock, breadcrumb coating. Third ingredient, vegetable oil. Notice how they don't say clearly what that is until you get to the very bottom where it says vegetable oil, canola and or. Notice how they put canola first? And or soybean oil. So that if you see soybean oil, you instinctively presume it's the last ingredient. When in reality, it's not the last ingredient. It's the third ingredient. But because of the way they list it, you think it's the last one. They're not stupid. They know that soybean oil's garbage. That's why they don't want you to read it. See how they cleverly do that? Oh, hey, Skinny, how are you doing? Great to have you. Oh, by the way, not just for Skinny, but if anybody wants to come on, let me put on a link. And this is no pressure to anybody. If anybody, you know, I know some of you folks just want to sit and enjoy the chat. I don't want anybody to feel pressured. But I do want to put the link in just in case anybody does feel like coming up. Let me copy it. Hold on one second here. All right, folks. Yeah, but hey, Skinny, hey, everyone. But yeah, that's the thing about these. And notice how they're careful the way they label them. Let's go to the chat here, by the way. I missed some of you folks. I was busy reading. Strike says, I think the problem is you don't get 6 of those little things. She could probably eat half of the bag. That's a great point, too. The serving of 6 is not unrealistic for some people, but for Amber, it absolutely is. So what was it again? Let's see the calories on that. 210 calories for 6. Realistically, she's going to eat at least double that. But I'm not trying to break it down too much. I'm trying to talk more about the quality of the food and how she's totally ignorant to that. Because listen to how she describes the food. Really, Amber?
That's all that's in here.
That's all that's in there. That's all that's in
sticks-
there. Right? Are you sure, Amber, that's all that's in there? Can you read, Amber? I guess Amber can't read. See how it says vegetable oil is the third ingredient here? She said literally all that's in here, guys, is minced pollock and breadcrumb coating. I guess she can't read the third and the fourth ingredient. Okay, Amber, keep being a fool. I love how she can't even be honest enough to just read the darn label. We could look it up ourselves, Amber. Come on. Respect your audience that much. We can look it up. Hey, Jarella, what's up? Oh, no problem, Skinny. No pressure. Just glad you can come by and enjoy the show. Hey, Rosalind, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but glad to have you. Glad you can come like this. Yeah, she is so annoying. I think she does that on purpose just so people will go in the comments to correct her. Just to say, oh my God, she's so stupid. Amber, you're such an idiot. Can't you read? It's got vegetable oil in it. Well, instead of wasting my time writing that in the comments, I'm going to make a video about it. But that's why I pulled it up, because when I saw this video, I remember her saying that and getting angry almost. Because that's just disrespectful. We know for a fact there's more than just fish and breadcrumbs in there. Anybody with a brain could say, wait, fish and breadcrumbs? How do the breadcrumbs stay on the fish? That wouldn't be possible. There has to be something holding them on. Oh yeah, because they're fried on there. At least the carbs are low. They're not too bad. My issue with this is if this was made with like peanut oil or corn oil, I'd probably be okay with it. Not that it would be healthy, but it would at least be like a treat. If you're gonna eat some fried fish sticks, if they were just natural fish and breading with corn oil or peanut oil, the way that they would be made at any restaurant that made them fresh, as a treat, I would be okay with that. But even as a treat, I don't like these because they're just so loaded with that darn soybean oil, which is just never a good choice, unfortunately. Excuse me, folks. And I'm not saying you can't have some on occasion. Yeah, Jarella agrees she might be trolling a little. Nothing wrong with having some palm oil or soybean oil on occasion. I have some too. But always try to go for peanut oil, corn oil. Olive oil is best, but it's not best for everything. If you're going to fry something, it's not always the best because it can burn a little easily. Although I like to fry stuff in olive oil, but you got to be careful. It's not for frying. You're better off usually with corn oil or peanut oil, but that's what you want to look for on these fried products. And the calorie is not a calorie, as much as you might think that, and in some senses it is. Like if you burn it off, a calorie is a calorie, but all foods are not created equal. There's more than just a calorie of carbs in there. Each fat has its own chain of hydrocarbons. Like they have different lengths of the chain. They're not exactly the same. Rosalind likes avocado oil here. That's a good one too. It could be a little expensive. I haven't really used it much for cooking, but I know it's good stuff. I like the taste of it. Yeah, the salt content's not too bad. Let me actually pull down so you can see it a little better. It's like I said, the only thing I really don't like is the vegetable oil because it's what? It's soybean oil. And you can tell, and I don't like how it's misleading, how they intentionally put the soybean oil as the very last ingredient and they list it as vegetable oil. They could just put soybean oil right there, but they don't because they don't want you to think that because people are becoming wise to the fact that soybean oil is not good stuff. And I'm not saying that if your favorite food has soybean oil in it, you got to throw it away. I'm not saying that at all. But if you have choice of two foods and one has soybean oil and one has, say, corn oil, go with the one with the corn oil. If one has olive oil, one has corn oil, that's a tougher choice, but I would go with the olive oil. And there it's more of just a personal preference, but always try. Don't have to, it's your choice. But just if you have other options, try to avoid the soybean oil and the palm oil. And now these companies are getting wise and they're just always listing it as vegetable oil. I wish I could highlight that in there. Rosalind says, try not to eat anything breaded unless she goes to a restaurant and it's a treat. I kind of have to agree with that. Oh, and hello, Dot. Pleasure to see you. I didn't see you come in there. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Especially too, if you're going to eat something breaded and fried, try to make sure it's something you really enjoy. You know what I mean? If you go out to a restaurant and you get some fresh, hot, crispy, fried fish sticks or French fries or something, and it's really crispy and tasty, that's almost worth going off your diet for. But if it's going to just be some soggy, greasy, nasty crap, no. Especially if it's all palm oil. And I'm not saying these fish sticks are going to come out terrible, but unless you really make them well, if you just kind of throw them in the microwave or something, they're going to be so disgusting anyway. Whereas if you go to the restaurant, like Rosalind says, it might be a little bit fattening, but at least it's going to be good. And also, if they fry it in a deep fryer at the proper oil, it won't be as greasy. Anybody who has experience with deep frying knows that. When you deep fry food at the correct temperature, it doesn't soak up the grease the same way as if you cook it at the wrong temperature. If you cook it at the low temp or you pan fry it at the wrong temp, it just soaks it up like a sponge. It's even worse than deep frying it. So I'm not saying deep frying it's good, but if you're going to go to the restaurant and get it deep fried, it's probably healthier than doing it at home because at least they're frying it correctly if you're going to a good restaurant. All right, let's get back on here. Let me check some of the, and I'll look at some of these comments while we're going.
Stuff, but no, it's just white fish and breadcrumbs. So me and Feline love this. Feline makes tartar sauce, which is actually really easy to make, which is shocking. So yeah, delish. So I used to eat these all the time and I haven't had them in forever. It's mixed crackers, the original party mix. I don't know what any of these are called. The times that I have had them, I did get them from like an Asian market. So yeah, it's actually really good though. And then I also got some wasabi peas, which I love having these. Got some chocolate milk and...
Hey Krista, how are you doing? And I love Dot's comment here. She only fries maybe once a year. Oh, that's pretty, you know what? If you're only frying once a year, I hope you enjoy it because you deserve it. But yeah, here, Amber's stuff here, a lot of carbs, but I especially dislike the chocolate milk. And why is that? Chocolate milk, if you read the label, it looks healthy. And it actually is. It's nutritious. It's milk loaded with protein. It's got some fat. It's got some carbs. You add the chocolate syrup that's in there, which is usually just corn syrup. But even that, corn syrup is what? Fructose. Fructose is what? Fruit sugar. Same thing as eating too much fruit. I'm not trying to say that it's healthy, but it's not that bad. The problem is drinking your calories is the worst thing you can do if you're trying to diet because it's hard enough to keep your calories down. When you're drinking your calories, you're just boosting your calories up. It says 130 calories per serving. That must be a small serving. Let's say 8 ounces at most. There's no way she's drinking 8 ounces of chocolate milk. That is a small cup of chocolate milk. I cannot imagine her drinking 8 ounces of chocolate milk. She's going to drink at least 16 ounces and probably more. And she's going to drink it down and then she's going to drink it with her food. She's not going to drink, oh, I'm going to have 2 glasses of chocolate milk for my snack and then I'm not going to eat anything. If you do it like that, okay, that's like having a protein drink. Not quite, but whatever. At least there's some nutritional value to it. Whereas well, there is nutritional value to it, don't get me wrong, but when you're overweight, you don't need extra carbs, extra protein so much. You might need protein, but you don't need it in that form. Krista says she loves sesame seed oil for Asian food. Me too. I think that's delicious. Especially, I was just talking about how using a rice cooker, I like to use the rice wine and a few drops of that sesame oil in there on the rice, the sticky rice. Oh, it's so good. Tastes just like the restaurant. Yeah, buys the 2% milk, then ruins it with, oh, that's right, that's whole chocolate milk. I just noticed that. Let me actually rewind it a second here. Let me see. Whoops, let me go back.
So
many calories are in the chocolate milk.
And some regular milk.
Oh, she didn't show the calories for the chocolate. Okay, well, we know it's more than that. It's probably about 160, 170. Because if it's 130, what'd you say it was there? 120 or 130 for the...
Also got some wasabi peas, which I love having these.
Those wasabi peas are okay, but they're a snack.
Milk,
they're a treat. They're not like a staple. Okay, 130 calories for the reduced fat milk. 2% milk is a pretty good choice overall. I think that whole milk, it depends how much milk you drink. If you drink a lot of milk, then yeah, you want to get the lower fat milk, 1%. Even skim. But if you only use milk occasionally, 2% or even whole milk is not a bad thing. I actually got this stuff recently called, I don't like to endorse the brand name. I'll just say it's like a filtered milk that has less lactose and more protein. And it has like a bit of a funky smell to it, but it tastes fine. And it's supposed to be healthier. I think it's healthier. I mean, the results, we'll see if that bears that out. Condiments and drinks are the biggest waste of calories. And LOP's baby, thank you for coming in. I have to agree. If you're not careful, And it depends which ones. You know, if they're like spices or like some tea, there's a lot of drinks that are not a waste of calories. But if they're like those sweet drinks, those soda pops, those chocolate milks, absolutely. Or if it's things like ketchup or teriyaki sauce or mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is the worst. Salad dressing is the worst because people tend to use mayonnaise and salad dressing on foods that started out as healthy. You have something so healthy like a salad, and then you cover it with mayonnaise, with salad dressing. Start out with something healthy like tuna fish, cover it with mayonnaise. It's the worst. It's just the worst. Drella says she literally never eats any fried food. That's hardcore. Well, I guess that's true, but it's hard for me never to eat it because I love it so much. But yeah, I would agree with that. The less you eat it, the less you crave it. Skimmer 1%. I'll agree with that, Krista. If you're somebody who's actively on a diet, and I need to get back on mine because I put on a couple of pounds, I've gotten lazy. If somebody is serious about losing weight, it's calories that you don't even miss. Yeah, it tastes a little, it doesn't taste quite as good, but you don't miss it. You really don't. And it's just, it's a great way to get the calories out. Shouldn't even bring it into her house. Exactly. Because she's going to overeat that chocolate milk. If she could drink 1 8-ounce serving, or even if she had 3 servings, but it was in place of a meal, it wouldn't be a big deal. But she's going to have 2, 3, 4 servings along with her meal. That's adding an extra 520 calories. Come on, that's terrible. Dot says she likes oat milk. Oat milk could be okay. I mean, it tastes okay from what I've heard. I've tasted almond milk. That tastes good. But I'm a big fan of dairy milk. If you're a vegan or you're lactose intolerant, then obviously you can't have dairy milk. But if you can have it, I'm a big fan of dairy milk because it's so much richer in protein. Almond milk has like 1 gram of protein per serving. Dairy milk has something like 8 grams of protein per serving. It's a huge difference. You can't even compare them. It's like there's as much protein in 1 serving of dairy milk as an entire bottle of almond milk. And I would assume oat milk's probably not too much more. So if you have it, make sure you get your protein somewhere else. I guess that's the best way to say it. Oat milk, almond milk, perfectly good, but make sure you get your protein elsewhere because you're not getting your protein from your milk if you're drinking those milks. Does not need to be drinking her calories at all. Yeah, I gotta agree. Peace Baby says she lost her taste for milk. Hey, you know what? Sometimes we get and lose our tastes over the years. But you know, if anybody who likes dairy milk, drink it down. It's good stuff. If you like it, I mean, don't go crazy. You know, you're not trying to gain weight, but nothing wrong with having a glass of skim milk. That's very healthy stuff. Yeah, whole milk's perfectly fine, especially for a growing kid. But if you're trying to lose weight, you know, it's just not the best choice. And Jarella mentions the brand. I'm not going to endorse it just because I don't endorse brands. Nobody's paying me to do it. Yeah, it probably is delicious. The almond milk I've had is quite tasty as well. Chocolate almond milk is delicious. I could believe that. Rosalind loves Simply Almond Milk. Is that a brand? I mean, it's probably quite tasty. The only issue is it just doesn't have the protein in it. Oh, your stomach doesn't like it. Do you have an issue with the lactose, or is it something else? Because you could get a milk that's filtered that has less lactose or no lactose even. That's fantastic, Krista. And if you drink your coffee black, it's no calories anyway, so you could certainly have that. I mean, it depends how you drink your coffee. You know, if you like it with a lot of creamer and milk, then it's a bit different. I think she needs whey protein. So I get about 140 grams of it a day, or some kind of protein. Therefore, I use almond milk in my coffee because it's okay. Yeah, as long as you get your protein elsewhere, then almond milk and stuff is fine. You know, it's important. Some people don't realize that it has less protein. Jarella obviously is very nutritionally aware. Seems pretty advanced in her knowledge with this kind of stuff. So she's got it down. Oh, and calcium is important too. Absolutely.
Regular
I believe
milk.
that's something that you get more with the regular milk.
Disposal cleaner just to put in the sink.
Disposal cleaner, you know what? I mean, it's low in calorie, but there's no protein. I'm not really a fan of this one for her either. Although we'll keep her her nice and clean on the
Because
inside.
sometimes the sink, you know, it doesn't smell that great. So we got some of this to make it smell good. Got 2 things
Hey, you know, if she's not smelling so good on the inside, take some of that and get it smelling good.
of Sushi Rice, which is like...
We already mentioned this earlier with the rice cooker that she got, which I'm not going to rehash that, but I think rice cookers are great. And sushi rice, good stuff. It's very high in carbohydrates, obviously, but if you don't overeat too much of it, it's good, it's healthy stuff. And if you, especially tasty, if you add some of that rice wine vinegar and a little bit of sesame oil into it when you make it, it's just a few extra calories and it tastes so good. I mean, in fact, it might be a bad thing because it's going to be hard not to eat too much of it.
Sticky rice, because we want to make our own.
Oh, and let me also shout out again, Gore World, the channel that put up this video, because they are the ones who put up the calories. Gore World, let me copy a link for the video.
Like wannabe sushi bowls, not sushi bowls. What are they called? Like salmon poke bowl type style. We got 2 of these.
Salmon poke bowl. Does she like Pokemon? Does she think everything in Japan is based around Pokemon?
100% grass-fed steaks.
Okay, I like the sound of that, but Amber, you know, you can't trust her with anything she says, but New York strip steak is probably my favorite cut of steak. My apologies to any vegans here. New York strip is my favorite cut. It's lean, but there's still some fat on it. It's not as lean as a sirloin. So if you overcook it a little bit, it doesn't ruin it. Like, I'll give a quick lesson on steak cooking, and vegans, close your ears for just about 1 minute, count down 60 to 0, and then come back. I'm a pretty good at making steak, and there's obviously more to it than this, but when you pick out a cut of steak, if you're not the best chef, get one that's fattier, because that way if you overcook it, it'll still taste okay. If you're a good chef, you could get a leaner cut, and it'll still taste good because you can make it rare. Like a sirloin is very lean, you have to cook it very rare, or it comes out very tough. New York ribeye is a great cut if you're not an experienced chef because it's very fatty. If you cook it medium, even maybe medium well, it'll still taste okay because there's so much fat in there. It'll just kind of crisp up the fat and taste good. You actually don't want it too rare because you want that fat to cook. Whereas a New York strip for me is right in the middle. It's just that sweet spot. A little bit of fat, but still nice and lean. I like it a lot. So these steaks here, grass-fed, that's definitely a plus. You know, I like beef, but I like the animals to be treated as well as they possibly can be. So I like the sound of that. I try to get that as well.
Feline was craving steaks, so we got some New York strip steak.
And obviously a great source of protein. I have to add that in too. And a good source of cholesterol. And I don't want to tell anybody to start eating lots of cholesterol if your doctor has told you not to. But if you don't have a problem with cholesterol, cholesterol actually helps your body produce hormones. And it can help HDL cholesterol. I know that there's LDL cholesterol in beef, but it helps. It's good for the body to have some of it. You don't want to have a totally cholesterol-free diet. You don't want lots of cholesterol. You don't want to eat bacon every day, you know. But you do want to have some cholesterol in your diet. Don't just cut out all cholesterol. It's not the enemy.
Which I'm excited to have. We got 2 of these chicken wings. Feline makes the best chicken wings ever. Maybe when she does it, I will vlog it. It is so good. Got some Vermont maple syrup breakfast.
Oh, wow. Hold on. We got to go to the comments here for a second. Jarella says, Amber, has stated on more than one occasion that rice is a trigger food and a binge food for her. What the hell is she doing? So buying a rice maker and showing us her purchasing rice is ridiculous. Yeah, she is absolutely trolling. That is insane then. I mean, the last thing she needs to do is don't listen to my advice, Amber. Do not put sesame oil or rice wine vinegar in that rice cooker, or you're going to eat that whole bag of rice in one night. Oh, I'm sorry, Krista. I'm fine with black coffee. Yeah, and as long as, and another thing, if you are going to make coffee with something, make it with milk. Don't use that creamer, because what is that creamer made out of? It's made out of oil, usually soybean oil or palm oil. It's usually like the worst kind. It's not even like healthy oil. If it was made out of olive oil or avocado oil, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Hey, lactose-free, great stuff, Dot. If you like lactose-free milk, by all means, that's a good choice because that still has more protein than the almond milk or the soy milk. And also the whey protein, isolate. Make sure you get the right kind because there's a kind that there's whey protein that's made with no lactose, whey protein isolate. If you get a good quality brand that's, they make sure that it's pure, you can actually have that. That's what I've heard, and it won't irritate your stomach. But just try a little bit first, make sure. Oh, and this is probably a good time to put this up. That's right, folks. I am not really a doctor. My apologies for anyone who thought otherwise. Yeah, rice is fattening if you eat a lot of it. If you eat a little bit of it, like you're supposed to, it's great. It's very calorie dense, I guess is a good way to put it. There's a lot of calories in rice. It's nutritious, but if you're somebody struggling with your weight, you got to be careful to not have too much of it. One serving of rice, great, but that's it. Oh, thank you for putting that up, Blondie. I appreciate that. I hope they do use a grill for those steaks. Yeah, those are big steaks, but they shrink a little when you cook them. And also, if you salt them before you cook them, they dry out a little bit and they shrink down a little more. Yeah, exactly, Strikes. Don't just eat a massive plate of rice. Have it, have a cup of rice, have a cup of vegetables, have a chicken breast, have some other stuff with it. Don't just have a giant plate of rice. That's with cheese and sour cream and don't do like the big Mexican rice platter thing. That's not the way to go. Skinny says she loves steak. Steak is good stuff, especially if it's lean. Lean steak is very nutritious. An air fryer to make steak, I've never tried that. I fry it in a pan and it comes out really good. Anybody wants to check my Instagram? In fact, let me even plug my Instagram really quickly. I finally have the link on there correct, so it shows it. And anybody who goes to my About tab will see it as well. But my Instagram on there, I actually have a picture of a steak I made the other day. Came out really good. And if you notice on the picture, I zoomed it in all the way, so you can't see that it's just a plain piece of meat on an empty plate. So it looks nice. Otherwise, it would have looked really lame. Krista says she wants to try Wagyu steak before she dies. Anyone unfamiliar, that's a type of beef in Japan. I think it's made in Kobe Prefecture, where the steers, I want to say, are fed sake and a lot of grain and rice and like very heavy food, so they get very fatty, and the meat is very heavily marbled. They don't they don't have to exercise a lot. They just kind of keep them, and they don't like confine them to a small pen, but they don't have to graze. They keep them, in a pen, and they have feed there, so they don't have to travel to eat. So they get very fatty. And the steaks are very heavily marbled, and they look really good. So the nice thing about those steaks is if you're not a good chef, they're probably still going to come out really good. So, you know what? I have a feeling that if you're not a good chef, you're somebody who should invest in a Wagyu steak. Because if you're a good chef, you can make any steak taste good. If you're not a good chef, you get that Wagyu steak, it's going to be the most delicious thing you ever had because it's hard to mess it up. But, when I see that Wagyu steak, I want to say, I take it back. Wagyu is not Kobe beef. Wagyu is Kobe style beef. I want to say that. It's beef that's produced in the same way where they feed it a calorie-rich diet, but the actual Kobe beef is in Japan. That's where they feed it the sake and everything, and it's monks who produce it. It's actually very interesting to see beef that's made in Kobe Prefecture. But Wagyu beef is still very high quality beef. But the original Wagyu beef was Kobe beef, made in Japan. Interesting little factoid there. Those maple sausages are delicious, Strike 79 says. I have not tried these. Sausages are hit or miss. It depends on how fatty they are. And that's why, as much as I love sausage, I can't recommend them too often unless you just have one or two with your eggs or something, because they're usually like 80% calories by fat, like a sausage link might be 100 calories and 80 of those calories come from fat, depending on the brand. Now, if you cook them and you drain out a lot of the fat, that helps, but it's still, they're just so rich in fat that it's very much something to treat, but at least it's all natural. Give it that. But you also want to get the ones that don't have nitrites, if possible. Kobe beef, please. Exactly, Skinny. Kobe beef is made in Japan, and I believe it's made by monks, and it's like the traditional Wagyu beef. They've been making it for hundreds of years, and Wagyu beef is like the Americanized version of it. It's like sparkling wine versus champagne. Champagne is only made in Champagne, France, and it has to be made using the traditional methods, and they have a set of standards required, and it has to be produced in the Champagne region to be called champagne. It has to be made in the traditional style, whereas sparkling wine is basically champagne made anywhere else. Kobe beef is made in Kobe Prefecture in Japan by, I want to say Buddhist monks or Shinto monks, I'm not sure which, and they feed it sake and rice, and it's a traditional diet. And the American and the Western version of that is Wagyu beef. But it has to be made in Japan to be called Kobe beef. If it's made anywhere else, it's Wagyu beef. I hope that explains it. And I could be wrong. I think that's what it is, though. Sausage in the air fryer sounds like a great way to reduce some of the fat a little. Yeah, how they are fed and raised. Let's keep going here. Yeah, hello, Tashadi. Pleasure to meet you. Glad to have you in here. I think actually I've seen you before. Or I think that's a new picture, though. I haven't seen that one. Oh, geez, complimenting so much. Yeah, they're happy cows. They get massaged and fed beer. Okay, clover grass. Okay, that's what they get. Okay, there you go. Hello, Ariel. Pleasure to have you. Yeah, massage and feed you too, right? Then we'll serve you to tourists. We'll call you Wagyu Krista. Just kidding. The air fryer is good stuff. I should get one. I have one, but it's not like it's kind of old, messed up. Okay, let's get back to the show. We've been missing out on the show here. Gore tube.
The sausage, some Bob Evans pork sausage.
See, now that's something that I've got a feeling is like 80% fat, and it's got a bunch of nitrites in there, I'm sure. Let's look it up. Bob Evans, original Bob Evans pork sausage. And I'm not downing the taste. It probably tastes good. I've eaten it myself. Not the one in the store, but I've eaten it at the restaurant, Bob Evans pork sausage. So I know it tastes good, but let's look at what is actually in there. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's see 1 second. Ingredients. Okay, here we go. 220 calories per serving. You know what? It's actually not as bad as I was afraid. I mean, it's not good, don't get me wrong. It's probably like 180 calories from fat, but at least there's 10 grams of protein in there. So at least it's not all trash. It has MSG though. Potassium lactate, I'm not familiar with. I'm sure it's some kind of a preservative, but at least it doesn't have potassium nitrites. So respect where it's due. There's no nitrites, and it does have a decent amount of protein. Sodium's a little bit high, but it's not too crazy. As far as sausage goes, this is not the worst. So, all right, Amber, good on you. Credit where it's due. Oh, this is actually a different one. Pork sausage, original recipe. I think this is actually a better one. All right, well, I don't know. Who cares? All right, whatever. Back to Amber.
It's seasoned. Got some Vermont.
I'm sorry, I missed these chicken wings she got. Chicken wings, good stuff, free range. Sounds good. You always want to, I mean, obviously the best you could do is buying from your local farmer's market. Although sometimes the farmer's market, they just buy stuff that fell off a truck and they just sell it at the market and they act like they grew it themselves. Or they just bought it at the same wholesaler that everybody else does and they just act like they grew it. So be careful. Some farmers markets are just farmers frauds. But if they're legit, your local farmers market's where to go. But if you can't, you got to go to the grocery store like me. You're just a city boy. Free range chicken is usually a better choice if available, but don't drive yourself crazy. Don't spend a fortune on it. But organic meat is a better option if it's reasonable for you.
He does it breakfast zesty hot and rosemary potato with the steak Evans pork sausage in zesty hot with the steak.
Oh, and there was a comment I want to read also. Sorry, folks. One second here, just got to close some of these extra tabs. Okay. Somebody pointed out that she has gallbladder issues. Amber has gallbladder issues. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. Because, and anybody watching the recording, please like and sub on the video, assuming you like it, and assuming you want to see more of this content. Or maybe you want to see better content, and you're holding out hope that it'll get better someday. Sub in that case too. I mean, it's not going to get worse. It'll just get better. So if this is barely passable for you, sub. It's only going to get better as time goes on. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jamie. But yeah, these gallbladder issues. I thankfully have never had gallbladder issues. I've been heavy, but I guess I've been doing more research on the internet lately about dieting and people and obesity and all of that. And I guess I was what you would call a small fat. I mean, at my heaviest, I was 100 pounds overweight, which I thought was pretty crazy, but I guess it's all relative, right? Yeah, what was my point? I totally missed my point. What was I even trying to say? I totally slipped my mind what I was even trying to say. Oh yeah, with the gallbladder, that's the point. So I never had any gallbladder issues. It never got that bad where I had to have my gallbladder removed or any, I never suffered diabetes. I never got lymphedema. I never got cellulitis. I never got, it never got to that point where I started getting, weight-related health problems. I also, but I'm just making the point though that, so I'm not really familiar with some of this stuff. But if gallbladder, I am aware though that gallbladder helps digest fat. All that sausage, which is like all fat, all cholesterol, and I was saying earlier, don't be scared of cholesterol, but there's a limit. All that sausage, that's a lot of cholesterol. That's beyond, having a decent amount of cholesterol. I mean, I said, don't, it's okay to have some, but that's not some. That's way, way too much cholesterol. Eating all that sausage regularly, I mean, the steak is fine. Steak is healthy, but that sausage is not it. Yes, Tashadi, this is, I don't want to say her latest, but one of her latest. This is actually posted by Gore World. If you look a little earlier in the chat, there's a link to the video and the channel. Blondie was kind enough to post it earlier. Where I got this from, it's a clips, and also they posted the calorie information on here. They were very kind to do that. I don't know. I can't think of a polite way to say it. I'm detail-oriented enough. We'll say it like that. I'm so detail-oriented that I know the calories for half of this stuff already without even seeing it. But for everybody else, at least, it's good to have this down here. For everybody not so familiar. Tashadi says not weight-related with her. I'm assuming her. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, regardless of what caused it. But I'm sorry you're dealing with that. That's unfortunate. Sounds very unpleasant. And I hope you, hope you get some good news with that. Changing the diet helped. That's good to know. Reducing the fats, but these roasted garlic and rosemary potatoes. If these are what I remember, I want to say I've looked at these before. These are actually pretty healthy. These are made with either olive oil or peanut oil or something. They're not made with palm oil. I remember because I almost bought them myself. So there's no palm oil, there's no soybean oil, whatever oil is in here is regular, just decent oil, and it's potatoes. It's very simple. But the reason why I didn't buy it is because I could just make it myself. It's just some potatoes and some oil and some herbs in a pan. I mean, if you're really in a hurry, I could see getting this. You know, if you just work like 2 jobs and you have a family and you have no time to make food, I could see getting this, you know, because you don't have time to just throw some potatoes in a pan. But if you have even just time to preheat the oven and just cut some potatoes in half, or you could even get canned potatoes if you're in a real hurry and just dump them in a pan with some oil and some herbs, you can make this yourself. You really can. So this is not bad food, but it doesn't make sense why Amber, who has nothing to do all day, can't just throw some darn potatoes in a pan. So I'm actually gonna say I like this food as far as the food itself, but I don't see why Amber would be the one to purchase this. You know, this is a good choice for somebody who's very busy, which Amber is not. Dyskinetic gallbladder. I'm not familiar with that term. I guess I would assume it means it doesn't move correctly. It has an issue with the movement. It would hold the bile instead of putting it in your stomach when you ate. So everything, that sounds terrible. Glad you're doing better. That's possible. You know, hormones are like that. When you get pregnant, you get different hormones levels, and hormone levels can cause all kind of craziness. You know, be very careful with hormones, whether it's, you know, adding them or subtracting them, anything like that. Be very, very careful. All right, geez. Well, I am glad I don't have gallbladder issues because I love meat. Gotta have my meat. Though to be fair, I don't eat meat that often, but I do have it on occasion. I have it like at least once a week. I have steak or pork or something like that at least once a week.
Wanted some potatoes, so we got the roasted garlic and rosemary potatoes. We got some wild salmon.
Now that I like. Not necessarily personally, because I'm not a big fan of, that looks like that sweet flavor, like that teriyaki flavor. I don't know. I haven't had this brand, so I probably wouldn't like this flavor. But wild salmon, or any salmon, I guess, seasoned grilled salmon, great stuff. But again, why is she buying pre-seasoned salmon on a platter when she has nothing to do all day? Why couldn't she just buy a piece of salmon and season it herself? You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of stuff that doesn't make sense to me. I guess because I'm something of a cook myself. I mean, I don't like to clean up, so I could understand maybe, you know, I use pre-cooked food, pre-made foods a lot myself because sometimes I'm busy. But Amber is really not busy, and she has this beautiful kitchen. Why not use it?
It's already seasoned, naturally flavored smoky barbecue marinade. So I got 2 of these extra crispy crowns. It's seasoned, shredded potato.
Okay, once again, this is just like the fish sticks. The first ingredient is potatoes, perfectly fine. Second or third ingredient is going to be palm oil or soybean oil. There's no real excuse for that. Why can't they use corn oil? Why can't they use canola oil? Why can't they use peanut oil? It's going to say something like a blend of vegetable oils because they've learned that words like soybean oil and palm oil are turning off consumers. So the brands no longer put that down. Now they put down a blend of vegetable oils to make it sound better. Or they'll say organic palm fruit oil and they'll advertise it like it's a good thing. It's still palm oil. It's still soybean oil. And it's the cheapest garbage. Again, I eat food that has it sometimes, but not by choice. I eat it because there's not an option that doesn't have it. Like there's these protein bars I really like, and I just can't find a good protein bar that doesn't have any palm oil in it. I wish there was. I think it's because the palm oil makes it more shelf stable because it lasts on the shelf for a long time. But something like this, she has all day. Why couldn't she just buy shredded potatoes and you know, they must make some that don't. Don't they make those low fat ones? And if you cook those in your own oil, they would still be better. Everything she's buying, all this pre-made stuff is just drenched in palm oil and soybean oil. And if you're asking yourself, why do companies use this stuff? There's 2 reasons. One, it's much cheaper. It's cheaper than peanut oil, cheaper than corn oil, cheaper than canola oil, cheaper than avocado oil, cheaper than olive oil, much cheaper than olive oil. Cheaper than all that stuff is palm oil and soybean oil. It's some of the cheapest oil there is. And it's also keeps food fresh on the shelf for a very long time.
potatoes. They're like easy tater tots that you just have to put in the microwave. I like these in my breakfast quesadillas. Got some serrano peppers. Got some shredded carrots and some shredded radish. Got a thing of pineapple and strawberry, just cut up fruit.
See, now again, I'm not want to be overly critical here. I'll say, so I like these foods. I like the shredded radishes, carrots, great choices, fantastic. I think that kind of stuff is exactly what Amber should be eating, or really anybody for that matter. And even these fruits here, strawberries, pineapple, great fruits, a little bit high in sugar, but you know what? When you're 500 pounds, it's not too much fruit that's causing you to be that heavy. I can promise you that. Nobody got to 500 pounds from eating too much fruit. Not that I can think of, except maybe a gorilla, because gorillas are vegetarians. But or mostly vegetarians. I think they eat a little bit of meat. But yeah, she has all day to prepare some vegetables. She has this beautiful kitchen. Why couldn't she just buy a box of strawberries? And I mean, peeling a pineapple is a hassle, so I would get the pre-peeled pineapple. But you could slice that up yourself for like a fraction of the price. So, I mean, it's whatever. That's laziness. I mean, again, if you're really busy, I'm not trying to shame people. If you're really busy, you got a family, whatever, maybe you have arthritis in your hands, there's lots of reasons why you might need pre-made stuff. But Amber doesn't have any of those reasons. And of course, the fruit snacks. Can't have fresh fruit without some junk food, fruit snacks too. I'm not going to dog her on that. Fruit snacks are okay, but you know, don't eat the whole box. Eat just 1 or 2 packs.
Welch's fruit snacks and the island fruits, and then some Welch's juiceful.
Gotta have 2 packs of fruit snacks. That's the thing. I mean, and again, if she could just eat 1 pack at a time, that would be cool, but she has binge eating disorder, I thought. I mean, I don't have binge, well, I actually have a little bit of binge eating disorder. Trigger warning, everyone, I guess, my apologies. But yeah, I mean, that's why I try not to keep boxes of sweets and things in the house, because I will go nuts and eat them.
Which is kind of like a gusher, I guess you could say. Last but not least, some Ziploc baggies.
Those are all low in calories.
And I just remembered we also got some fresh garlic.
Garlic is great.
So we have a grocery haul.
Another grocery haul.
We are shopping for groceries 2 times a week, and it's working out really good since we're not ordering takeout or anything like that. Not only are we saving money, but we're like actually not wasting any food. We're cooking it all. We're eating it all. It's pretty great. So first things first, we got.
And by the way, Krista, this is a good time to put up my my banner here. I'm not really a doctor. That cleaner was for grinders in your sink, garbage disposal. Do not use that on yourself. Do not eat that. That was a joke because Amber is seems pretty ignorant when it comes to what she should eat. So I wouldn't put it past her to, you know, because it said citrus on it. Okay, back to the show.
2 of these beef sirloin steaks. We got some chicken tenderloins. We got some fresh chicken wings. We got some whole grain thin spaghetti. I prefer angel hair, but I don't think they have whole grain angel hair, so thin spaghetti is like perfect. We want to make.
I'm going to say whole grain pasta is healthy. I'm not going to dog it. It's good stuff, but it's still pasta. It has all the negatives and all the positives of pasta. If pasta is good on your diet, then whole grain pasta is also good. If pasta is not good on your diet, then whole grain pasta is also not good. Whole grain does not magically make something healthy if it was not already healthy to begin with. Like whole grain bread. Is it healthier than white bread? Arguably. But if you shouldn't be eating lots of bread, white bread in your diet, you shouldn't be eating lots of whole grain bread either. Because the calories are basically the same. It has a little bit more fiber, maybe a few less calories, but Amber's issue was not eating 1 serving of pasta, it's overeating. And whole grain pasta is not going to do anything to fix that. So I think that's a silly mental gymnastic for her to do something like that. Makes her feel like she's doing better when in reality it changes nothing. Pistachios, that's another one. That's a very high calorie dense food. All these nuts. These nuts are nutritious in the sense that they have good fats, they have some proteins, but they're very high in carbs, they're very high in fats, and one handful is very high in calories. The pistachios there, especially if those are already shelled, this has got to be like 2,500, there's got to be over 3,000 calories of nuts here easy. Maybe 4,000 calories of nuts here. And she could polish those off in a day or two.
A little trail mix moment with nuts. So we got roasted and salted pistachios, salted whole cashews, salted peanuts, and then honey roasted almonds.
And honey roasted almonds. Like she needs any, if you're going to get something like that, you want to get something that's not so delicious that you're going to eat the whole jar. Get like super spicy or salt and vinegar flavor. Get something that's kind of funky. So you'll eat a couple and then you'll put the rest away. That's what I do. Whenever I buy chips, I buy super hot and spicy chips, or I try to. Because that way I'll only eat a few and I'll kind of put them away because I don't really like them that much. If I buy chips that I like, I'm going to want to eat the whole bag. Oh yes, and thank you, Blondie. I am in agreement. Everybody, if you can, if you'd be so kind, please hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're watching, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of Amber's grocery haul. Or if you're watching now, leave a comment after you're done if you get the chance. You've got something you didn't get a chance to say, or something you disagree with, something you agree with. Let me know. Let me know. I'm going to keep looking at comments while we listen to Amber's grocery haul.
This is a little bit of a splurge, if you will. I really love scalloped potatoes. So I am going to have just like a serving of this with some protein and veggies. It is honestly so good. I recommend this, you guys. Great comfort food. We got some mozzarella string cheese, some shredded Mexican. Recommend this serving of this with some
scalloped potatoes. If that's what I think it is, that's probably not too bad. But again, I can't see Amber just eating one serving of that. I see her eating a whole the whole tray. And that's the thing. She needs to avoid these kind of calorie-dense foods.
Some protein and veggies. It is honestly so good. I recommend this, you guys. Great comfort food. We got some mozzarella string cheese.
String cheese is another one. It's nutritious and it's good, but it's high in calorie. And if you're trying to lose weight, it's probably not the best choice because it's too easy to eat more than one stick. If you just eat one stick, fine. But that's never been Amber's issue. And shredded cheese, again, shredded cheese, if you use it reasonably, it's tasty, it even has a good amount of protein, but it's very easy to use a lot of it.
Some shredded Mexican style blend, which is my favorite. We got some brie. Brie
is a little fattier than other cheeses, if I'm thinking correctly, but it's not too bad overall. It's just, again, is she going to eat just a spread of brie, or is she going to eat half the thing? And salami, hard salami, terrible, terrible choice. If you're overweight, that is just like half fat. I noticed her recipe, what she's eating here, other than the steaks and the milk, it's basically all fat and carbs. Like there's very little protein in here. I mean, yes, there's protein in the nuts, but like by percentage, everything is like maybe like 20% protein, 80% fat and carbs. And that's probably part of why she's able to eat so much, because if you eat a balanced diet, it fills you up much better. All of her protein is delivered with lots of fat or lots of carbs, with the exception of the steaks and what was it, the chicken wings? And I guess the 2% milk. That's it. I can't think of anything else that she bought that was really rich in protein that was healthy.
Some salami, cottage cheese, Daisy cottage cheese.
I take it back. Cottage cheese is rich in protein and healthy. I don't like cottage cheese. I think it tastes disgusting. But if you like the taste of it, get it. It is so healthy. It's like the healthiest stuff you can get. It's just all protein. Just as when I criticized Amber, she tricks me. Gets the cottage cheese. Can't go wrong with that. Even the kind with the fat, it's still really healthy.
Which is the brand to get it, trust me. We got some jalapeno peppers, which we use these with like almost everything we eat. It's so good. We got some squash, zucchini, scallion.
squash, zucchini, scallions, all good choices. Vegetables, the pickled jalapeno peppers. They might be a little high in salt. I'm not sure. It depends on the brand, but overall, not bad. Good choices. Bananas, those look good.
We got some bananas, which those are nowhere near ripe.
Those are looking almost ripe in my opinion. I like my bananas just where they just turn yellow, just barely. Like as yellow as that squash that over there, right next to it, I'm pointing at, if you can see my pointer. I like it just a little more yellow than that, where it's just barely stopped being green. And I also like to buy the organic bananas, because you know what I've noticed? They don't turn brown as fast. The regular, not organic bananas, they are green, and then like they turn yellow, and then a day later they turn brown. The organic bananas slowly turn yellow over the course of a few days, and then they stay yellow for a few days. They don't just immediately turn brown. Very interesting. I've noticed it's one of the few organic foods that you can actually notice the difference. Hello, Yelly. Pleasure to have you. Glad you could make it. And apparently Amber is now denying she has binge eating disorder. Well, those hips don't lie. Oh, I know, Krista. It's so hard when you keep some treats in the house. That's why it's so important when the family eats healthy together. You know, getting some treats for the kids is wonderful. You know, and that's fantastic that you care about them. You know, you're not denying them. Just make sure that you're not harming yourself. You know, don't put yourself in harm's way. But it sounds like you're doing it right, and that's good. You're teaching your kids, the right and healthy way. Get them. You want your kids to have some treats. You don't want them to not have anything, because then they're going to crave that stuff. Like when I was a kid, I was never allowed to have a sweet, so I always craved it. I was always given junk food like Burger King and pizza, so I was fat because of my parents feeding me junk food. But I still craved chips and sweets because they never gave me that stuff. So I had the worst of both, where I was always craving chips and sweets at school, so I was always trading my food for that. And then I would get home and I would get nothing but with food that they thought was healthy but was not healthy. Food that was, quote, nutritious, high in calories, but not healthy, because they didn't know a darn thing about nutrition. My father used to think his idea of a diet was eating all grapefruits. My mother's idea of a diet was Nutrisystem. They didn't know the damn thing about, part of my language, they didn't know a darn thing about health or nutrition. So, I had to teach myself. Thankfully, I've learned. But if I can learn it, so can you. Let's look at the bright side. If I can learn healthy nutrition, get my weight under control, you can do it too. Or at least hopefully you can. You might have a tougher situation than me, but you know what? Doesn't mean you can't do it. Just means it might be a little more work. Yeah, it's easy to eat too many nuts. They're just so tasty. I love roasted nuts. Peanuts, almonds, also nut butters, like almond butter, peanut butter. What I do sometimes is I buy the natural kinds and I pour out some of the oil. And it's a little bit thick, it's a little bit crunchy, but it still has less oil in there. And it's kind of a way to get a few calories out without minding it. As long as you don't pour out all the oil, because then it can get a little bit too thick.
Or my version of ripe. I like when they're like bruised up a bit. Got some pears, grapefruit, which I've never had a grapefruit before, so I might have to try it with you guys. Some grapes, some pineapple here, apples, a little tiny watermelon, a big thing of broccoli, and also some fresh pineapple. So now I'm gonna put this all away. All right, you guys, we have a grocery haul. I decided to use Prime to deliver my food from Whole Foods. I've actually never done it before. I watch quite a few vloggers who actually use this, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. So let's do a haul. I like how it's in bags and not...
I'm gonna say first off, yes, indeed. Definitely give Skinny Queen a follow if you get the chance. She's going to actually be on at 9 p.m., so I'm going to be signing off just a little bit before her to give you a chance to have a little snack or something. Probably be signing off around 8:30. She was even in the chat earlier. I forgot to mention her then. Sorry, my brain slipped my mind, but she's a mod in here. She should have posted her link. She knows she's allowed to. But she's probably busy too, to be fair. But yeah, and also I want to mention, in the future, we're going to be having on people on, I want to start having panels on here, and I do want to start doing more interviews. Unfortunately, my first couple of interviews have not worked out for various reasons. But but I'm going to probably interview myself for my first interview. But after that, if anybody wants to talk about either their weight loss success, their weight loss journey, success, failure, whether they're about to begin one, their plans for a diet that they want to start, anything like that, a fitness program, anybody who's been successful on their fitness program, anybody who wants to do it anonymously, if you just want to fill it out, I can read the answers anonymously so that, just make sure not to put anything in there that gives it away, your personal information. But yeah, just get back to me about that. If you're interested, just message me on the Instagram. I will keep your information private. Yeah, that is a lot of cheese, fat, salami, and processed, indeed. Replaces cauliflower for all your potato cravings. That, you know what? I've tried that. I'm not really a big fan, but if you can do that, good for you. Agreed, Tashadi. You got to work your hardest before the weight loss surgery, just to prove that you're a good candidate. Yeah, zucchini is good stuff. Very low in calories too. I'm glad you agree, Peace Baby. Mrs. American cottage cheese, but we have superior cottage cheese. Well, I don't like it anyway, right? Billy loves zucchini. Kate loves her cottage cheese. Welcome in, Kate. Glad you like cottage cheese. It's very healthful stuff. Very healthy stuff. The grapefruit diet. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, you know what? As long as you're getting it to work right, that's what matters. Oh, that sounds delicious. I mean, well, not for me. I wouldn't like it, but I mean, if you like it, that's what matters. It sounds like it's, good for you. And it's loaded with proteins. Oh, that Blondie, I thought that was funny too. She's like, oh, I'm so happy that they use paper bags instead of plastic. And then she rips them to shreds instead of, even trying to reuse them. Hey, Hippieista, great to have you in. Thank you for coming by. We're doing a little review of Amber's groceries from GoralTube. Kind enough to put in a link here. Glad you can make it. Yeah, and anybody not subbed already, if you haven't had a chance to like the stream, please do. Give a link and please follow a link over to Skinny Queen. This is our safe place to discuss our health questions. Indeed, it is, Blondie. Any question? And by the way, sometimes maybe I come across a little confrontational. That's just my style. I don't mean to disrespect anybody's diet choices. I just kind of have to be harsh with myself to get myself to not eat certain things. Because I can very easily say, oh, well, what's a little palm oil? What's a little soybean oil? And I used to always say that. And not until I really became harsh with it. Like, no, you're only going to eat this. You're only going to eat that. When I became very serious about my nutrition was I finally able to make the change. So maybe I come across that way sometimes, but I don't mean to be that way. So hopefully everyone understands that. Yeah, this is a safe place to discuss. So just if you have a question, just bring it up. And if it's a private one, just message me on Instagram and I won't reveal your name or anything. And if you want to ask a question in private, maybe you feel like it's silly or just whatever reason, as long as it's, nothing, inappropriate, feel free to message me on Instagram with it. Oh, no, you're not a day late and a dollar short. You're on time. We couldn't start it without you, but we did anyway. Jeez, I gotta run through some of these comments. Just a few too many. Oh wow, you're getting surgery. Jeez. I hope you're blessed. Saying some prayers for you, hippie. Yeah, Amber is not prepared to do the real work. Hopefully she recycles them, right? If she's gonna tear them up, at least do something. Oh, you don't need to make any excuses to talk to your son. And we posted our link. We posted your link for you. Oh, okay, no problem. Skinny is going live tomorrow, so I might run the show just a minute later tonight. But either way, check out her link. It's already been posted a couple times, and she will be in there. Yeah, I can get you Frida's link, Blondie. Hold on, I can get you Frida's link. 1 second. In fact, I will just post it myself. Here you go, everybody. Here's Frida's link. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Anybody like to give that a follow? Hopefully Frida will have a new cooking show up pretty soon, and when she does, give it a look. Hearts of palm noodle replacement. That's an interesting one. I guess you can't ask now. Well, if it's mildly inappropriate, you can ask. But no. I'm not answering inappropriate questions. That's opening a can of worms. And worms might be nutritious, but they don't taste very good. They're full of iron and fiber. Wonderful to see you, Megan, as well. Yes, hello everybody. Let me put the show back on before it gets too stagnant in here.
I love that. Oh my god, and the meat is like bagged like this? Wait, this might be my like go-to. I might start doing this more often.
Oh, Farina's live tonight. I was not aware.
And cocktail sauce.
Oh, that's good to know that she's going to be live tonight. Good for her.
It's just like a little individual one that Feline and I are going to share. Wait, I love how this meat is bagged because I am weird about meat. If you know me, you know that. I got some ground turkey. This is 93% lean. We got some chicken wings because Feline, she knows what's up. And she does keep the skin on, which is fine. But eventually, we're going to need to figure out a skin removal situation.
Now, I got to say, if you're going to take the skin off the chicken wings, why even bother? You know? Like, why not just go with chicken thighs, skinless? Because, like, there's more meat on them. The wings, the skin is like half the meat on the wing. If you peel the skin off, you just get some dry bits of meat, and they dry out. You know what I mean? Like, there's so little meat on there, if you take off the skin, it's going to dry out. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on making wings, but that's how I feel like it would work out.
Just, you know, to get into the swing of things, to start eating a little bit better, but changing habits slowly is the best idea. We also got some fresh young chicken. That's literally what it is. It's just
sounds
some,
very painful.
Next bag. I got a huge thing of broccoli because we're constantly eating broccoli. So I feel like this could last us for quite a few.
Broccoli, great stuff. You know, Amber buys some good stuff in there, but I've noticed she doesn't buy enough lean protein. I think Jarella pointed that out earlier. She buys vegetables, which are good, but then she pairs them up with a bunch of carbs and fat. So it's like, what's the point of eating the vegetables if you're just eating a bunch of carbs and fat with it? It's not well-planned dieting.
Few meals. So we usually get fresh. I mean, this is fresh, just bagged. It's fine. I got a big thing of bell peppers because you could do stuffed bell peppers, which I've been wanting to try, or just like saute them. Got some carrot sticks because Feline wanted carrots and hummus, which sounds so good. So I got roasted garlic because we know we like that. But then I also got jalapeno hummus for us to try. We both are obsessed with jalapenos, so I'm excited to try that. Got some strawberries. Ooh, the bag almost fell. Got some grapes and some more grapes, just like 2 packs. Third bag.
Who buys a tiny little thing of grapes in a plastic cup like that? How wasteful is that? Unless she reuses the plastic cup. But like where I am, you get this giant bag of grapes in like a little thin little plastic bag. I mean, it just seems very silly to get picked grapes in a plastic cup like that. Grapes are supposed to be cheap. Those grapes are probably like $10 a box or something. I don't know. Oh, and thank you so much, Megan. I'm coming through every Wednesday with hopefully some entertainment, hopefully some information, and if not, at least I'll just be coming through. Whoops, let me restart the show.
So I got some steamed brown rice. This actually goes in the freezer, keep frozen. Because if I plan on having carbs, I need to focus more on healthier carbs. So like whole grains, brown rice, whole wheat. Fourth bag here.
I hope this was filmed before she got the rice cooker. If she just bought that pre-made, that instant rice after buying the rice cooker, she is a moron. No disrespect, but yeah, maybe a little disrespect. Oh, and there was a comment here I saw that I thought was funny. About cutting up the broccoli. I have to agree, cutting up broccoli is really easy. I will say that sometimes the pre-cut vegetables are not that much more expensive. But when it's something like broccoli that's so darn easy to cut yourself, it's harder to justify. If it's like pre-cut carrots or something, you know, you got to peel them and then you got to cut them. It saves you time. But like broccoli, you just rinse it and cut it. It's easy. Like a head of lettuce can take time. You got to rinse it, you got to chop it. I mean, some things are easier than others, but broccoli is easy as heck.
We have 2 things of romaine salad, just to make some salad. A thing of scallions, because we put scallions on like everything because it just adds such good flavor. A massive thing of pineapple. Oh my god, that looks so good. I'm about to eat me some of that. And then...
like pineapple. I can understand getting the pineapple cut up because, you know, who wants to peel a darn pineapple? That's a hassle. I always get the pineapple peeled and cored. I cut it myself, but sometimes the chunks are the same price as the cored pineapple, so I just get whichever's cheaper.
A massive thing of watermelon.
Watermelon's another one. You know, chopping up an entire watermelon's a hassle. So if you pay a little bit extra just to get like some watermelon chopped, I can kind of understand that.
I thought this is only $10 is shocking. It's actually really big. I don't even know if you guys can tell, but this is massive. Glass bag, which is the 5th one.
By the way, folks, your donation money goes to paying for my YouTube Plus subscription with no commercials. That's why I still have commercials.
I got some of this Calm magnesium supplement. This like calms you at night if you need help sleeping, which is literally me. Got some creamy peanut butter because we want peanut butter with apples. And in my opinion and Flane's opinion, Granny Smith apples are more like sour, so they taste better with...
I don't know if whole wheat is a bad thing for her. I don't know her personal diet, but I know a lot of people, what they do is they will buy whole wheat and they think that it's somehow healthier than the regular stuff, and they'll eat just as much of it and they'll think they're losing weight. Whole wheat is healthy. I'm not going to say it isn't, but it doesn't help you with weight loss significantly. If you eat regular pasta versus whole wheat pasta, you're not going to lose any weight if you eat the same amount of pasta. It's one of those things that is arguably healthier, but it's not going to make a significant difference in weight loss. So if she has an issue where she shouldn't be eating whole wheat, then she really shouldn't be eating it. But I mean, in general, it's one of those things that doesn't really make much of a difference as far as dieting. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat it. I'm just saying that if you like I don't really like brown rice. I like white rice. I'm much better off just eating the white rice because I like it instead of getting brown rice and picking at it and you know, not eating it and then being hungry and eating something unhealthy. I'm better off just eating white rice, you know?
Peanut butter versus like regular red apples. So that is everything we got. So we have grocery haul time. We shop for groceries twice a week. It's just easier that way. And today is Whole Foods. 1 bag for a whole thing of corn. So I got some frozen sweet yellow corn, no salt added. Usually the cans have like salt added, so I figured frozen would be better.
Frozen is better than canned most of the time. Depends on the brand, depends on how it's frozen, but the majority of the time frozen is better than canned because canned does have some preservatives added, has water added, and it's not as good. It sits in the can at room temperature, whereas when it's frozen, it stays fresh longer. So it's almost always better frozen. And again, corn is one of those that it can be a hassle to cut it off the cob and make it yourself. It's not the, you know, and it's relatively cheap buying it already off the cob. So I can see that.
Next bag. I got some cream cheese spread. I got 3 things of salami. I love these. They're so...
Stop with the salami, Amber. Don't you know that's like the most unhealthy cold cut? If you're going to get cold cuts, get roast beef, get ham. Even get like some of that capicola ham with the fat in it. Well, not the super fatty kind, but you know what I mean. But that salami is like the most fattiest, most nitrite-fueled cold cut there is. Do not eat that stuff.
So good. And for one of them is only 150 calories. and 12 protein. I got one of these uncured hard salami panino. I hope I am saying that right. It's literally just salami.
More freaking salami. Why does she keep buying the salami? I thought she wasn't interested in salami.
Wrapped mozzarella cheese. So.
Oh, and most wrapped in cheese, of
good.
course.
Flane and I are loving string cheese.
Hold on. She literally bought salami and cheese sticks, and she bought cheese sticks wrapped in salami. Does she even see herself? She bought cheese sticks, salami, and cheese sticks wrapped in salami. What the heck? What is she even doing? Let me rewind that so you can see that.
Calories.
She bought salami.
And 12 protein.
She bought cheese sticks.
And I really just
salami
wrapped mozzarella cheese.
Cheese sticks wrapped with salami. She had to buy all that stuff separately and together. That is crazy.
Cheese, and I really like the mozzarella one, and I know she likes mozzarella, so got some mozzarella string cheese. I got a bag of shredded iceberg lettuce. I got a thing of thick and chunky cantina style salsa. Sorry, the lighting in here is rough. Like, this is pathetic.
Thick and chunky salsa, you know what? I mean, you can make it yourself, but I will say it's at least healthy. It's a lot healthier than like the that like nacho cheese garbage sauce, that stuff that's just all congealed oil. At least the salsa is made with real tomatoes and peppers and things like that, onions.
Pathetic how bad this lighting is. I got some sweet mini peppers. Next bag. I got 2 white onion. I got a thing of basil pesto.
Oh, Blondie, thank you for asking that. I actually do not want to accept donations just yet. First of all, this channel is not monetized. I don't have the option. But I don't want to accept donations until I'm really reliably putting out content regularly. Because I would feel obligated to produce a certain level of content on a regular schedule if people were donating anything to me. So I don't want to accept donations until I know that I can give people professional quality entertainment, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I want to be at least like Skinny Queen. She's on like 6-7 nights a week, or at least she was, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing one show a week. I want to give you guys something, if you're going to give me something. But thank you, though, I appreciate the gesture. And in the future, at some point, there probably will be. Because I do want to upgrade my equipment, if nothing else. And thank you for mentioning it. Thank you.
Got some mandarins. I love me a mandarin. I also got a big bag of oranges. And a vodka sauce by Oreos. Last bag is the most expensive eggs I have ever bought in my whole entire life. Just pasture raised, it's 18 large eggs. Are they cracked? They better not be because it was $9. Nope.
Freaking 50 cents an egg. Eggs are expensive by me, but they're not that much less, to be honest. Eggs have gotten so darn expensive. Most food has gotten expensive. It's just, but I think that's more from inflation than it is from the actual food, to be fair. Because it's not just food.
They're beautiful. I got a thing of smoked fresh turkey kielbasa. Last but not least, 2 packs of ground turkey.
Okay, folks. That little video took up our entire show. So I'm going to go through the comments, and I think we're going to end it. Because I think it was really informative. I got a chance to share so much information about how I pick out groceries and how I determine what I'm going to eat and what Amber's doing right, what she's doing wrong. This was exactly the kind of content I wanted to make about Amber. I didn't just want to say, hey, look at the fat lady. Look how fat she is. Look at her eating. She shouldn't be eating. She's fat. I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to actually, make something specifically nutrition-based. Because, there's a time and a place for everything. We all enjoy some drama, too. But, and there might be some drama on this channel someday. But we're trying to be more about nutrition, safe place for nutrition, like Blondie said. Yeah, peanut butter I like peanut butter, but it's a bit but it's a bit caloric, so I try not to eat it too much. Yeah, just a lot of sodium and fat. That's the thing. A little salami on occasion is fine, but You know, if you're gonna have salami regularly, get the well, I don't know, international salami, maybe. Yeah, prepackaged stuff usually is generally not the best choice. You'll be all right, Skinny. You know, but I agree. Take it easy. It's definitely better safe than sorry. You know, I'm sure at least at least you have a heart to monitor. You know, Chantel couldn't even use that device, right? At least you have a heart to monitor. How come they crave sodium? You know what I've noticed? Sodium is like an addictive thing where the more you eat, the more you crave it. That's what I found. Where if you don't eat much of it, you kind of lose your taste for it. But once you eat it, everything starts to taste bland without it. You get used to there being a lot of salt in everything because you eat so much like McDonald's and fast food and all that kind of thing. And it's so loaded with salt that anything you eat that's not full of salt tastes bland. I mean, and I can say that as somebody who's been heavy. I mean, I've never been a death fat, but I don't eat as much salt now. And, you know, it's one of those things where food tastes saltier because I'm not so used to it. Whereas when you eat a lot of salt, you just always want more. It's like sugar. You know, the more sugar you eat, the more you want. It doesn't taste so sweet. Yeah, you know, I'm not one of these hardcore environmental types, but I don't like to waste. I don't think anybody likes to waste. It's just, you know, we don't like to see waste. It's a human thing, I think. Oh, you're so sweet, Megan. I adore you in my audience here. You're fantastic, people. I love all you folks. Let's keep going here. Vodka sauce. You know, I've heard that it doesn't actually have any vodka in there. Where, you know, considering I do not like vodka, I never wanted to try it. Oh, Blondie, you're so sweet. Well, you know what? I might get it set up in that case. I might set it up. All right. Okay. If you folks insist. You're very welcome, Megan. Glad you have you. Oh, glad you enjoyed it, Hippie. All right, folks. We're going to wind it down. You've been a fantastic audience. I cannot ask for a better one. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe if you have not already. Lurkers, love you folks too. Thank you for coming by. There's never any obligation to chat. Just as long as you're enjoying the show. Even if you're not enjoying it, hopefully you learned something. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not learning anything, at least you're having fun making fun of me. You're getting something out of it, right? Okay, everyone. Have a blessed evening. I will see you around. I will try to see you over at Frida's later. Oh, Travis, I missed you there, man. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone. Be well. Glad I was able to turn Amber Lynn into something educational. Who'd have thought that was even possible, right? All right. Be blessed, everyone. Have a great night. And tune in to see Skinny tomorrow. Check out Frida later tonight. Be blessed, y'all. Oh, and I'll be back on same time next week, 7 p.m. next Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time. I got to get better at advertising myself. And go to my About tab, check out my Instagram. If you're watching, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share the link if you know somebody who might be interested in the information we discussed. Good night, friends.